Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that was loud. How you doing tonight? TNT Thursday Night Throwdown is on air for April 23rd, 2020. My name is Chris Maloney, your host, coming to you from London, Ontario, Canada. I think I was almost perfect as far as that intro goes, but I think I forgot to hit the audio for the countdown, so maybe next week. But alongside me, of course, as always, Sean Bates of the Scumbags of Wrestling. Sean, how's your week been?
Not too bad. It's been rather quiet still. Going to work Monday to Friday, but yeah, since I'm supporting in home, it's a little more relaxed compared to being at the building doing day program activities.
Yeah, so I've got upgraded lighting, so you can see my face a little bit better. Not so much more handsome, but you can still see my face a little bit better. Backdrop's a little bit better. Sean did his own backdrop there as well. But yeah, it's like I said, episode 15 of the Thursday Night Throwdown, and we're going to talk some WWE, some pro wrestling, as well as independent wrestling as much as we possibly can. And then we got a few announcements as far as some new stuff coming your way as far as we go. So right now I'm going to bring on Mr. Jonesy here. I just got to get rid of that top banner so nobody's face is cut off. I guess that would have been my face, so I guess not that big of a deal. But Jones, how you doing tonight?
Good, my bearded friend.
You know what? The hell? Okay, so all right. Anybody listening, a light just kind of flickered on and off. So, but anyway, everything's all still good. But Jones, you talked about the beard, so we got to get Sean, I think, to grow one as well.
Yeah.
Not happening, eh?
Yeah, if you want to deal with my wife.
No thanks. She's Italian, so we'll leave it at that. Anyways, topics we'll get to straight away, and I'll get your guys' thoughts on this. Jones, I know you don't follow the product as much, but I know you'll have something to say about some of these topics. So Vince McMahon being sued by former XFL commissioner for wrongful termination. Just to the story is this. And this coming from F4WOnline.com. The fallout from Vince McMahon's sudden shuttering of the XFL started with the league filing for bankruptcy last week and continued Tuesday with news that the league's now former commissioner is suing the chairman. Basically, he's got lawyers involved saying that he was fired without due cause. McMahon saying he didn't do a good job as commissioner. So essentially what happened is McMahon fires the guy and then he shuts down the XFL the next day. Do you guys think, first of all, he has a chance in court to actually fight this? Do you think it's going to be settled out of court? You've got this one guy who used to be commissioner who's getting paid by Vince McMahon, and all of a sudden taking on Vince McMahon. I don't think anywhere in the world he's got enough money to be able to topple him or to be able to win in court. I think if anything at all, it'd be settled out of court. But right down to it, business ethic wise, do you believe 2020 Vince McMahon is still doing this kind of BS?
Jones?
Oh, yeah. Well, he's always going to be a businessman. Unfortunately, a lot of businessmen are not nice, but that's not a personal thing. It's business. It's money. It sucks for the little people like us that get punished by people like that, but that's the way she goes.
Yeah, unfortunately, in this case, the XFL doesn't exist. So, regardless, he was going to lose his job no matter what. He got hired in 2018, did all his work that he was supposed to do. He would have continued and had his 5-year deal probably if the XFL had continued even into 2021. But, nobody expected this coronavirus to hit and cripple businesses like it had. And when the XFL was just getting money from fans who were starting to come to the stadiums to watch the games, and very little was coming from very good deals that they had financially for TV, it's throwing good money at bad situations, and you can't keep the company running. He was going to be without a job. He essentially is just trying to sue to get a lump sum instead of pennies on the dollar compared to everybody else who's owed.
So sour taste in your guys' mouth. Is it going to be the early 2000 version of XFL, or is it going to be this one?
What do you mean?
As in, what's worse, this version of the XFL and how it went down, or the version of the XFL that went down like 2001, 2002?
Well, probably the original XFL, how it went down, just because, was sudden, and they probably could have kept on going, but it was just the wrong environment because they tried too hard to tie it in with wrestling. This time it wasn't tied in with wrestling, and it was the virus that took it down. There was improved play. There was improved interest. It was bad timing compared to the first time around.
Yeah. So Vince McMahon is not having the greatest month in the world. I mean, COVID-19 starts, and next thing you know, I think the first big thing that happened was a SmackDown in Detroit ends up getting moved to the Performance Center. It's been one thing after another as far as downhill goes. Doesn't get any better from being sued. So what happens next is John, who said that his employer, World Wrestling Entertainment, is forcing me to work the TV tapings for its weekly shows despite stay-at-home orders for coronavirus. And I'm unable to speak about this as I need the job, and I know I will be fired if I approach my higher up. Despite sanitary precautions, we cannot maintain social distancing and have to touch other people. I request the government to shut down these tapings and enforce the stay-at-home order so my colleagues and I can follow social distancing rules without fear of repercussions of losing our jobs. That's coming from the Orange County Board of County Commissioners meeting that took place. So here's my question to you guys. This John guy, is it a real employee? Is it somebody who's concerned about the situation? Is it maybe a family member of one of the employees there? Do you feel this guy's telling the truth? You guys feel the WWE's telling the truth? I mean, everybody works. You go to HR. HR is supposed to be there for you. If they're not there for you, you go to the labor board, whatever the case may be. In a case like WWE, you're on television, you're making multi-million dollars. At times, merchandising, being on TV, whatever the case may be. Do you think the story is BS, or do you think WWE has a right to say, hey, we're treating you fair. If you don't want to work the tapings, then basically forget about it. You can stay at home.
For me, it boils down to what the government says. Like here in Ontario, at least, you cannot be fired right now because of COVID. So if you don't feel like going to work, you don't have to. So I don't know if they have the same thing in the States or not. The employer has every right to do what they want to do, but the performers also have the right to refuse work. And that's just workplace safety 101. So I just think that whoever did put this out, and it's more likely an employee or wrestler, they just don't want to say who they are, that put this out, because it is in fact true. All these things, sports and most jobs out there, are not essential. And that's, for me, if people really cared, unless you're in doing hospital work, looking after people, all this other stuff is eventually going to be shut down if it gets worse.
Yeah, I can definitely concur with that thought, Jones. I think that whoever it is that is John, either is very low on the totem pole, is worried for whatever. It could be, as you suggested, Chris, could be family member, or just somebody wanting to get in dirt sheets to stir things up, because we have seen with Roman Reigns, he didn't feel like he could perform at WrestleMania and record that, and he was there. And last minute, because The Miz was ill, he pulled himself. Yes, there is talk that they're not mentioning Roman's name, but I think in a way that's also holding that back so that when they do return, his return will make a big impact for a big pop, rather than him being there just at the Performance Center. They're respecting his wishes. He wasn't one of the guys who were let go on Black Wednesday. So I kind of also agree with what Jeremy had said. The being a work, like somebody's trying to work things and just get attention, and in this case it could be negative attention, but right now WWE's shown that if you don't want to work, you don't have to. That's why half the people have not been there on the shows, and we got maybe 50% of the cast of Raw and SmackDown performing each week.
Yeah, what was the name of Bischoff's book?
Controversy Creates Cash.
Yeah, there we go. That pretty much sums it up right there. Jeremy Luckhart on Facebook says, and if it's a shoot, I'm stunned that this hasn't had a response from upper management, especially aired on social media. So you're listening to TNT Thursday Night Throwdown, episode 15. If you are on Facebook or YouTube, feel free to comment to us. We will read your comments on the air as long as they're PG or Jones approved. So we'll make sure we do that for you. But anyways, your guys' thoughts on Roman Reigns, and the fact is they are not mentioning his name right now. Is that out of respect, or is that because of the fact is he's pissed off Vince McMahon? What do you guys think?
Well, as I just said, I think they're holding him off so it's a big pop when he returns.
I think he ticked off the chief.
Yeah, I'm kind of right in the middle about that one. I think it's a respect thing, but I think at the same time he's probably pissed off Vince McMahon. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Q1 quarter results come out for WWE today. If you want to read those, WWE.com corporate has them, as well as pretty much every website out there. The biggest thing that I read was the fact is 1.46 million subscribers to the WWE network. This is something I think that was created about 6 years ago. Stock rose to 42.50 as far as the day went. Looks like it closed as far as $39, so it's still not as high as that $80+ mark it had been at at one point. And surprisingly enough, the XFL was not mentioned on the call. Are you guys surprised that the stock has taken as much of a hit as it has? I mean, you got COVID, but do you think it would be more than what it is if Vince McMahon wasn't doing the crap that he was doing right now?
I think the main thing why it lowered really quickly was due to the firing of Barrios and I can't remember.
Michelle Wilson, yeah.
Michelle Wilson. Like the investors and all that probably don't have confidence in who's steering the ship at the moment. If those two who were doing so, and Barrios was the one leading all these investor phone calls beforehand, there's nobody in those seats. Vince has been spread out with the XFL and WWE up until now, with XFL down. All right, who's captaining the ship? So, of course, until somebody with a reputation takes over those empty positions, things are going to be uncertain, and the stock's going to be down.
Jones, any other further comments on that?
Nope.
Simple to the point. All right, so here's a question for you guys. You own the WWE. Monday Night Raw ratings, 8 p.m., 1.94 million viewers. 9 p.m., 1.87 million viewers. 10 p.m., 1.72 million viewers. Do you care to put a product out there if it wasn't for, say, Fox and USA Network? Do you think that's what's holding the WWE to keep producing these shows?
Well, it looks like now that they are going to be changing their recording schedule for Raw and SmackDown and obviously NXT. They've been able to work around those contract deals because now, I guess, this Friday they're doing live for SmackDown, but then Saturday they're recording May 1st and 8th. And then on Monday it's going to be live for Raw, but they're also recording for May 4th. So obviously something has gone around that need to fulfill the contract with the live content. But I'm betting USA and Fox are just happy that they're getting any new content that's out there compared to any sports network that has nothing and has to resort to showing Major League and Happy Gilmore and Tin Cup just to fill space.
Maybe people like Tin Cup.
I wasn't knocking it. I love Happy Gilmore.
I'm a Gilmore fan as well.
It's a sports channel, and they're resorting to finding sports movies just to fill time because they don't have brand new content. USA and Fox, regardless of the ratings going down because people aren't watching for whatever reason, they're at least getting new content.
Yeah, that's true. So Jeremy Luckhart again, look at it from a booking perspective. He's bailed on Mania due to health concerns. He may have irritated management, but as you guys stretch, huge pop when it comes to ratings, and ratings are their big dog, pun intended. He also follows up loss on XFL and loss of attendance. They needed some kind of profit, and he said it. They aren't the only ones with live content. So thanks a lot for the comments there, Jeremy. So I get your thoughts on something else. So you know about all the releases that happened last week. With regards to some of the guys still kicking around. So Sarah Logan was booked for Raw. That obviously wasn't on Raw. Drake Maverick is still competing in the interim Cruiserweight Championship. Do you guys feel it's a slap in the face to these guys, knowing that they can't compete anywhere else for 90 days, to ask them to still show up to work for a company that fired them? Or do you guys think it's basically their choice? Maybe they've said to them, hey, Logan, hey, Drake Maverick, if you guys stick around right now, once this COVID-19 thing is over, quote unquote bullshit, we'll bring you guys back on. Why do you guys think these guys are still sticking around, as opposed to guys like Gallows and Anderson, who are all over Twitter and Instagram right now posting New Japan pics?
I would say it's because they know that the WWE will hire them again. Like, a lot of people are let go from WWE and then they hire them again, or they get fired and then they come back. Look at Hogan. First time he was there, didn't work out, and then they brought him back and boom.
Yeah, and the thing is, wow, there was somebody with feedback. The thing is with that also is they have a 90-day basic cool down period. So at any time during those 90 days, WWE could bring him back. Now, in the case of Drake Maverick, I think he was given the option, since he was already booked to do the Cruiserweight tournament, whether he left or not, because they could have instantly plugged somebody else into Drake's spot. But if you look at his videos, which could be also a work, but he's right. This is his opportunity that he knows he's gone after 90 days, regardless. If he's dominating, or at least putting on really good performances, knowing that he's going to lose them all, but still impress, he could be the guy that they say, okay, we like you, we love you, let's stay in contact, or you're staying instead of going away. I think I heard yesterday, watching a little bit of WrestleZone's podcast that they were doing after NXT and AEW, that Drake Maverick was one of the top 20 trending names or things going on Twitter. Vince has a hard on for anything that's trending on Twitter. So if Drake is at least in the top 20, he's going to get a consideration for staying around.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like, when you guys put it the way you have, it's kind of like giving you 2 weeks notice at a job, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to leave on bad terms, essentially.
And if you look at some of the videos that people did on Twitter, none of them really disparaged WWE and said, oh, F them and all this other stuff. Mike Kanellis and Maria Kanellis, who were reportedly wanting to get out of WWE, Mike did a video saying thank you to WWE and we'll be good and all this other stuff. He could have ranted all he wanted. Like, all of them have said nice things because they didn't want to burn a bridge, and we don't know officially what they were or were not told.
All right, so next topic is a choice of two. You got to get your guys' comments on one of them, so it's up to you what you want to comment on. First one, Triple H, 25 years, big thing on SmackDown tomorrow night for him. Your thoughts on Triple H, 25 years in the business, and are you interested in seeing that on SmackDown tomorrow night? Second thing, which I will talk about after you guys are done, is Rob Gronkowski returning to the NFL as 24/7 champion. So Triple H or Gronk, as I'm going to say, because I am a Pats fan. Anyways, your guys' thoughts on what interests you more, as well as just thoughts on either 25 years in the business for Triple H or Gronk going back to the NFL.
Jones?
Triple H, I'm sick of them tooting their own horns every chance they get. Honestly, Triple H was a great character, decent wrestler, but not until the near end of his career did I buy him as a legitimate person that could beat people like The Undertaker, and that he was not very high on the list of people that brought in money. as far as John Zine and them. So yes, it's impressive that he's there for 25 years. I think it's more impressive that he's in the role that he is now and not just a wrestler.
Yeah, so as far as who's got that going on? As far as Triple H goes, I think he earned his spot the way he did. Yes, he married into the business and with the hooking up with Stephanie. But if you look back at his history, he was smart enough to only do a 1-year deal with WCW, doing the Terror Horizon, and then becoming Jean Paul Levesque. He didn't stay around longer and get trapped in WCW. He made his way over to WWE. He was punished by the Clique for doing the curtain call on a year that he was scheduled to be the King of the Ring. He went back down the ladder, worked his way up, and yes, as I said before, made it into the family. He has created NXT, and that seems to be more popular than the main brand that Vince and Kevin Dunn and all them are running. So all that, DX, yeah, impressive. 25 years, yeah, why not celebrate him? Plus, in this time of needing content, if you're going to devote a chunk of your TV show to that, then you don't have to worry about risking your talent.
All right, so as you're saying that, I'm going to say this about Gronk. I don't think WWE would be a good fit for him anyways. As a Pats fan, F you. Because obviously he's going down to Tampa Bay, much like Brady. I hope they get beat out first round of the playoffs in Tampa Bay, or I hope they don't make the playoffs at all. That's me as a sports fan who's a little bit bitter about the fact that both of them have gone down to Tampa Bay. But to me, even since the WrestleMania moment that he had, I just don't think build-wise and personality-wise, WWE fans would be able to pick up on that. I don't think he'd have that much success. And when you think about the mainstays as far as NFL players and the WWE goes, you think about, what was it, WrestleMania 2 and Refrigerator Perry, or, who was the Lawrence Taylor WrestleMania, what was that, 10?
11,
WrestleMania 11. So they didn't get the crowd response that Vince McMahon probably hoped that they would have gotten. I don't think Gronk would have got that either. So happy trails to him. Mojo Rawley wasn't going to do anything for his career as far as a wrestler goes. And I can see him making another appearance in the WWE, but full-time wrestler base, no, thank God. He's back to football. So
yeah, well, I think in Gronk's case, it's just like the other WrestleMania that he appeared at. It's a name that, and it was at WrestleMania they took part in, and same thing here. They introduced him to be a host at WrestleMania. Of course, they were expecting to be in front of a crowd and try and milk off that. But if he was actually going to continue being a wrestler, yeah, that just would have been Titus O'Neil, Mojo Rawley status, I think, with him. But I think in the long run, it was more a publicity thing.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. All right, so it's kind of coincidence. As I'm sitting here doing this podcast, I've got WWE Network on in the background on mute. They've got the Edge's 24, the 24 special on there. Who's in the ring right now? It's Dash Wilder with Edge. And obviously, what's going on right now is the Revival have changed their names to the Revolt. It's pissing a few people off, mainly on the internet, of course, because that's what everybody does. It just bitches and complains. But one of the reasons for it is because I'm trying to bring this up as I'm talking here, but I'll get you guys' thoughts on this. As Ontario independent wrestling fans, are you guys upset at all about them taking on the name The Revolt? Because I know, I think it's down in, I've got the article right here. Hold on a second. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking South Carolina, but North Carolina. So Caleb Conley and Zane Riley have been known as The Revolt for years. So that was an article I'd been reading. Are you guys, so The Revolt, Dawson, Wilder are playing dumb. They're like, oh, we had no idea that name existed on the independent scene. So obviously you got the U.S. independent scene, you got the Canadian independent scene, where you got Tyson Dukes' students, so Jordan James, Alec, is it Realm?
Realm.
Yeah, I almost said Riley for whatever reason, but Alec Realm, yeah. Anyways, the two of them as the Revolt. You got a tag team done in the North Carolina as the Revolt. Does it upset you guys at all that they wouldn't think maybe a little bit harder about this as far as trademarks and everything else go? Or do you think they're right because, you know, they are moving on to bigger and better things? And if somebody hadn't trademarked their own names, then so be it. Piss on them.
Jones?
Yeah, unless you trademarked your name, you're SOL. However, maybe if when the Revolt and the WWE come over to Canada, they'll have to be called the Revolt X, just like Bush was when they came over to Canada.
Yeah, got that. But,
that is on Jones's end. It's got nothing to do with me. It's like the Monster Echo over there.
Oh, is it a big echo? Okay.
Yeah, every time I go start talking, there's an echo, and it's just like throwing me off. Anyways, yeah, if the other guys had not trademarked it, then that's definitely a different story there, and they were good to possibly trademark it themselves. I would go with Top Guys, as Jeremy also suggested, because that's one of their things. But the Revolt is kind of what their name would be by leaving WWE and wanting to rebel against what they had been saddled with. It's unfortunate if it's not trademarked by Smash or Jordan and Alec, whatever the other guys are down in North Carolina, but we'll have to see how it all plays out. But at the same time, maybe Cash and Dax, I think their new names are, should have looked out for any other names that were out there if that was already being used.
I like the Top Guys. That's it. Between the Revolt and the Top Guys, I'd probably go with the Top Guys. But I mean, if they want to keep the FTR thing going on, I understand why they did the Revolt. So we're already half an hour in. You guys' thoughts? Are talking trademarks and everything else. Cody Rhodes officially filing for the trademark on the name Cody Rhodes. Do you think he's going to be successful with that, or do you think Vince McMahon's going to try to stop him again?
I think WWE already let it go, but I already thought he was given permission by WWE to use it if he wanted to, because regardless of them being on opposite ends of the business at the moment, there has always been talk by Cody anytime somebody's trying to get him to say anything disparaging about WWE or the McMahons in general, he says that there's respect between the two families. So whether he has the official trademark or Vince is just letting him use it whenever he wants, doesn't matter either way, I don't think.
Yeah, I have to agree about that one. You guys catch Impact Wrestling on Tuesday night at all?
Yep.
Jones?
Impact?
It's
yes, Impact Wrestling still exists. I see. You know what? I will never say a bad thing about Impact Wrestling. I will not necessarily agree with their booking, but I am a fan of Impact Wrestling. Same way I'm a fan of
a show.
Well, yeah, we've been to shows. But anyways, thoughts on the Impact World Championship situation? Tessa Blanchard apparently is living in Mexico, cannot get to where the tapings had been. I believe that was up in Nashville. What would you guys do with the title at this point? Would you simply hand it over to Elgin? Would you basically have an interim championship tournament, interim championship match, just to put that belt back on TV? Do you think it's disrespect for Tessa? Does it set up a new match for Tessa when everything COVID-based is all said and done? What do you guys thought? Well, if you were in Impact situation, what would you do as far as the title goes? Because we've seen what happened with NXT.
Either do a very short tournament or just have two guys, then new champion, and then when Tessa comes back, you fit her back in with the match with somebody for the belt, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, so that comment, hold on, that comment's read-worthy right there. So Crazy Steve returned. You guys know who Crazy Steve is?
Wasn't he part of the group with Abyss and Rosemary?
Okay, before that?
Oh, he was on the independent scene here in Canada with, wasn't with Psycho Mike?
Okay, for you guys that cannot see this video, I am shaking my head back and forth right now. I'm I'm going to have to give some history lessons next week as far as the Ontario independent wrestling scene goes about 15 years ago. So anyways, so Jeremy Lockhart again says Crazy Steve return. He also says tournament for sure, and then when she comes back, get a pop and get her return match. And then he also says Decay, yes. So he's Jeremy Lockhart, very knowledgeable as far as his wrestling goes, and some good opinions as well. So thank you very much for that, Jeremy. So we got some good news coming up. If I can figure out how to do things. There we go. All right. What else do we got? Okay, so you guys didn't see Impact Wrestling Dark Side of the Ring Dino Bravo episode. Do you guys have a chance to see that?
I saw that episode, yes.
Jones?
Not yet.
Okay. The one thing I didn't realize is it was almost like Bravo had known what the hell was coming to him. The way it was set up, the way his wife and daughter had left the house, the way he was just sitting there watching TV. 11 bullets, obviously part of the mafia, something to do with cigarettes, smuggling, everything else. When I heard the news, and I think this was way back, what was it, 92, 93, I was in shock. But I mean, the internet didn't exist. It was just news reports and stuff like that. And then when you see the story and everything else, it's not surprising the fact that once he left wrestling, he got into a bad side of the business. And, you know, sure enough, he ends up getting killed because of it. Sean and even Jones, your thoughts on Dino Bravo as a professional wrestler, thoughts on him not being in the WWE Hall of Fame yet, and your thoughts on, was it one of those things Vince McMahon didn't take care of his past performers and he had nothing else to do to try to get that paycheck other than what ended up happening to him?
As far as money, I think that's a lot like sports of old, where hockey players, baseball players, they didn't get paid a lot unless you were a big name. So the wrestlers of the 80s and that, a lot of those guys, they did not get a lot, and the money they did get, they may have spent and then not planned for. If they didn't have a long career, they're screwed. I think that's what happened and still happens to pretty much anyone that's in a volatile job. But I love Dino Bravo. Favorite move he ever did was the sidewalk slam. He would do it, the side slam, whatever the hell that thing was called. But I always liked Dino. I thought he was just a great heel. He wasn't like, he was just a classic bad guy, just a bad Frenchman.
Yeah, like as far as it goes with Dino, it was interesting that the documentary said that he was basically the Hulk Hogan of the Quebec scene, and he is part of the old territory generation where then Vince was gobbling up different areas and bringing in their top stars. You saw him change from being brunette to being a blonde, and he was doing the heel thing. He did the Canada's Strongest Man in Hamilton at the first Royal Rumble, and Jesse Ventura helped him lift that up. He brought in Earthquake in his feud with Warrior and squashed them that way when they were doing the push-ups. Like, yeah, Dino Bravo was maybe underrated, but he was a good heel. It's just, unfortunately, he was on an era before guaranteed contracts. So if you spent your money, like Chris said, then, he was, I guess, a nephew to one of the top mob guys in the Quebec area. So it just fell into place, unfortunately. And he was one of the enforcers. As somebody said, imagine Dino Bravo coming to you because you owe him them money. But yeah, wrong place, wrong time, screwed over people, just bad business.
Sean, Jesse did not help. Okay, he did not take any of that weight. He just guided Dino. So I mean, you're just like McMahon.
Come on, McMahon.
Conspiracy theories here. We could devote a whole show to WWE conspiracy theories. All right, I'll give you guys quick thoughts on the rest of the subjects here. BTE 200, is it the last we see of it? Yes or no?
What's BTE? What?
Being the elite.
Being the elite. They closed it out like it was the last episode ever. Do you think we're going to see another one?
I think we will.
Okay. UFC 249 set and Amanda Nunes not taking part in it. Do you think it's too soon for the UFC to be coming back? Yes or no?
Well, if we got AEW and WWE doing it. It's not necessarily too soon, but at the same time, it's a real sport compared to the. I guess the injury risk is obviously higher in MMA than in professional wrestling, even though that is still there. So, yeah, it's.
I think as long as the two or whatever combatants agree to do it and are then put in solitude for like 14, 17 days, then I don't see a problem.
So you guys are saying as long as they follow guidelines, it should be fine then? All right,
Yeah,
shaking their head, yes. All right, before we get AEW and NXT, that was AEW and NXT. Talk is Jericho right now, the blood, sweat, and teeth of Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Reason I mentioned this, happy 29th birthday to her today. Also happy, I put 4th birthday to John Cena, but that's not right. 43rd birthday to John Cena today. So they share the same birthday. The reason I wanted to make this relevant is the fact is both of these guys had shitty careers as far as AEW, WWE goes. Cena transforms into the Doctor of Thugonomics. Britt Baker turns into what she's turned into now. Do you guys, who do you think, or sorry, I shouldn't say who do you think, but how successful do you think Britt Baker can be in wrestling as far as a female goes? Do you think she can compete with Charlotte Flair? Not necessarily wrestling ability goes, but as far as being a heel character goes?
Yeah, I think there's possibility. Sorry, Chris. I think there's possibility for Britt to exceed. She was not going too far as the face, but once they found her heel side, she's embracing it and is going to be able to run with it, I think.
I'm not that familiar with Britt Baker, so I was going to say I can't comment on that. But yeah, that's it.
All right. So NXT WWE. Yeah, okay. Now the reverb's throwing me off in the background. AEW NXT this week. So AEW 731 back on top. NXT 665. Sammy versus Darby, Bubbly Bunch, Dustin versus Kip was highlights of AEW. Balor got attacked. We don't know. I don't know if it was necessarily by who. It could be a Karrion Kross again. Interim tournament taking place, and Dream and Dexter Lumis against Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. Your guys' thoughts? What's kind of more exciting for you right now, as far as the interim tournament or as far as the semifinals for the TNT tournament? What's keeping your interest? Jones with a shrug. So, Sean?
I'm more interested in what they're doing with the NXT Cruiserweight title, just because of the G1 format. There isn't anyone that I can distinctly pick between the two brackets to go, oh, yeah, that one's coming out. Of course, most people are thinking Kushida. Not sure who would be coming out of B, if it's Phantasma, potentially. But you know, that it's not as predictable as this TNT tournament has been. Like right when they put up the graphics before they even had their first match, you can tell that it's going to come down to Cody versus Archer at whatever they are calling Double or Nothing on May 23rd. But, you know, and it's playing out the way anybody visually would be able to see it.
So we're saying Archer's going to go over Dustin.
Yeah, because then you have him saying, I just took out your brother and now I'm going after you because this is my goal from the start, is to take out Caesar.
Yeah, the whole Jake the Snake thing. All right. So one thing I will touch on Canadian independent wrestling base, and this kind of brings a tear to my eye. Smash versus NSPW was supposed to take place this coming Sunday. So it's been a couple of hits as far as me goes, as a wrestling fan, personally. MWW Midwestern Wrestling, obviously. Smash, I think, is supposed to have a St. Thomas show that we missed out on. And now this one here, they were supposed to go a double weekend. So Toronto won the Saturday, and then Sunday here, in London at the London Music Hall. So I'm missing wrestling. I'm missing baseball, Red Sox, obviously. But in saying that, what do you do? What do you do when wrestling's not taking place? What do you do when you need stuff to do? Well, you kind of get on the hamster wheel and you start brainstorming, you start creating things. So, in saying that, show is being led over to this guy named Jones. Jones, you know anything about this? The Wrestling Trivia Challenge, and hosted by. Oh, hey, wait, that's your name right there, actually. Jones, what do you know about this?
Well, a friend of mine sent me a thing saying, "Hey, try this trivia maker," and I tried it, and I got sucked into it. So I just started making up questions, and it's a ripoff of Jeopardy. But hey, who gives a crap?
Everything's a ripoff of something. So, anyways, in the background here, we got the official logo right now. Anyways, that Jones sent me earlier this afternoon.
Yeah,
I can tidy up a little bit.
And until I get a better computer program, I just did it old school.
Yeah, essentially for anybody listening to this, it's basically, it looks like Jones had a Sharpie marker and a piece of paper and just went nuts. To anybody watching right now, I'm going to remove us from the stream just so you can get a better look at it. So hold on a second. So you know what? It's not bad actually. It's got a little. I was thinking when I saw it and I kind of updated just a little bit as far as the color scheme goes. I'm thinking, man, you put that on a friggin' T-shirt, I'd buy it. So
nice. That the printing is terrible. I'm so shaky. Some mornings I did it this morning, and I just hard to believe I was a drafter. And look at some of those ugly corners. Ew.
So where are we going with this? What is? Wow. We got to work on that. So what is the game plan for this wrestling trivia challenge?
Well, right now it's you versus Sean, but if there's two other people that want to join in, go find a couple other people, or it's just what about that guy that keeps on commenting?
Jeremy's on Facebook. I'm assuming he's part of Sean's wrestling group. Scumbags of Wrestling, obviously. Jeremy, if you're willing to participate in this this challenge, even though we've never met, send me a comment right now. I'll send you a link. All I need is basically, well, actually, I don't need anything from you. Just I'll send you the link on Facebook, and we can do this this trivia thing. Jones, in the meantime, though, do you want to load it up?
I sure will. I'm just finishing up here.
So to anybody listening right now, as far as podcasting goes, and you have no freaking clue what's going on, what we're going to do is start presenting basically a wrestling game show. We're doing a trial right now. I think we're looking into maybe Sunday doing this, maybe possibly Sundays. But the case is the fact is we want to do. Oh, I got a comment. So looks like let's see here. Sure, I'm still waiting on my Scumbags T-shirt. Just saying, LOL. Yeah, Sean.
Yeah, we have shirts coming soon. I just haven't been able to get that.
All right, so Jones, while you're loading this up, anyway, long story short, we're gonna start doing a game show as far as Jones's Wrestling Trivia Challenge goes. Much the same as Scumbags 100, we will turn this channel into Jones's channel for anytime he wants to do it up. We tested it out yesterday. We've got better kind of quality on this than we did on Zoom yesterday. A little bit easier to transition on this as well. I'll be one to say that Sean kicked my ass yesterday, so I kind of gave up, but it is fun. We're still working out the kinks. Some of the answers aren't 100% accurate, so if you got issue with it, Jones is your host.
Actually, a couple of them last night, like that tag team, the Miracle Express, they existed and it was them.
What was that tag team that you had mentioned about with Bam Bam and not Bam Bam, Bam Bam Gordy and Dr. Death?
Yeah, that was the something Miracle Connection. And I looked it up. I looked it up today and it was correct.
Are you sending Jeremy a link?
Yep, I am on Facebook chat right now. I am attempting to find Jeremy.
Okay, so here is how we're going to play the game. The first person will pick that's on the board, and I believe that's Sean. If they do not answer the question before the end of the timer, then anyone can guess. So once the timer goes bam, then anyone can guess. And that means that if Sean didn't answer it. He doesn't. He actually loses the value of points that was. And we're just going to rotate people because we don't have buzzers. And if you do have a smart ass
There we go.
answer,
That's better.
if you do have a smart ass answer, I will give 100 points.
So do you guys want full screen, or you want participants on the side here?
Me, I can only see my screen when I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? I got better lighting this week, so we'll keep my handsome face on the screen. So.
And so we're just waiting for Jeremy.
Yeah, I sent him a link, so we'll see if he logs on.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? We'll since the first time we're actually doing this, I'll throw up the whole screen just so people can see it.
Okay, that should be gone by now.
It says choose a display option.
Yeah, I already did that. Here, just give me a second. It's displaying both pages, and I don't know why. I'll get rid of that one. There we go. So just that other one is there now.
I've got nothing. It disappeared. Just the three of us.
Oh, okay. Well, here, I'll try that again.
It worked
Because
so
it
well
was-
yesterday.
Yeah, but it was only showing. Oh, okay. I've got it up there, so I got to do share screen.
Please bear with us, listeners and viewers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hence the fact
There we-
we're only 15 shows old, so
Yeah.
we have a
So
lot of growing room.
So you see it now? I
Oh, here we
imagine?
go.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll see what the categories are, and then we'll see how many players we have. We've got Name That Movie. Finish Him. It is what person is doing the finisher. NWA History. Satu and Mr. Fuji, or Sato, sorry.
Satu.
Yeah, whatever. Slogans. And Who That Jobber? Name that jobber.
Okay, well, this is kind of weird because I can't see you guys. So
And
Jeremy is
Jeremy's
logged
in.
on. Yeah, Jeremy's logged on, so I'm going to welcome to the show. Hey, Jeremy, you with us? I could see him. I just can't hear him.
Hello, Jeremy.
So he is on with us right now for anybody listening audio-wise, but no sound coming from him. Make sure his microphone's not muted, and is not. Hey, Jeremy, can you hear us? So yeah, perfect video, just no audio right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see if you can maybe adjust on that. Jones, you want to get set? You know what? I'm going first this time because the fact is Sean
All right.
tends to run the board. Actually, no, Sean, you go first. I got a private chat going on.
Okay. So let's go with Name That Movie for 300.
The Hulkster and Tiny's Movie.
No Holds Barred.
There we go.
There's like a freaking Amy right there.
Do we have volume from Jeremy?
No, I've got the chat going on as well. Apparently, you can hear us, but I can't hear him.
Okay, so are we continuing then?
Sure. He can always
Name-
join in. Well, go slow.
We can't do anything till you freaking get one wrong. So
Okay. Who That Jobber for 200?
Okay. Oh, that I don't know where the picture went. He didn't look like Rocky, but was called this. There's supposed to be a picture there. It was there earlier.
Rocky Maivia?
No, that is not. Oh.
how do you possibly do something without a freaking picture?
All right. Well, you can still go with the clue.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say 70s if Rocky Maivia is not right. I'm gonna say Rocky Johnson.
Oh.
Oh, piss on that. You can't give us freaking stuff wrong if you can't. Okay, so what was the answer?
Fine. Italian Stallion.
Gary Sabo?
Yep. Okay. You don't remember the Italian Stallion as a jobber?
Wow,
Rocky Balboa. All right, I'm going next. Oh, so Jeremy's got some knowledge here. Eh? He should be on this show. Man, it's too bad the audio's not working. He said the Italian Stallion trained the Hardy Boys. So I didn't know that.
Wow.
So that's he might actually give you a run for your money there, Sean.
Could be.
We set this up tournament style. I think you're in trouble. What do I want? Let's go NWA history. 600.
This was the last NWA Crockett pay-per-view.
2019. Hey, wait a second. Go online, go to nwawrestling.com, go to Wikipedia. I was right about that.
No, it was Starrcade 90 because after that's when Turner bought it.
The Crockett Cup existed in 2019.
Yes, the Crockett Cup exists, but it said this was the last NWA/Crockett pay-per-view.
I'll piss on you, Jesus.
And it was Starrcade 90.
All right, we're going to get Jeremy in on this, delay or not. Jeremy, pick a category. Hold on.
Hey, it serves you right for picking 600 right off the bat.
Well, that's how you win. You go big or go home. Jeremy, if you want to compete, I know you got no audio right now. Just message me in the chat, say what category, and say how much. If he gives me a category there, Jones, he's going to say, we're going to give him more than 3 seconds, by the way. So he says jobber for 100.
Unfortunately, the pictures aren't there. I don't know why. The picture is there, but this for some reason it's not showing. So ignore that category.
All right. So why don't we why don't you try for Jeremy 300 for the jobber thing?
No, we're not doing that category.
We're not doing that category.
Yeah, because the pictures aren't coming up.
Okay. Jeremy,
I tried this earlier.
I'm going to work on for Sunday.
Yeah, see, this is why we're doing a trial right now, so Jones can work out of the kinks in the next 3 days. Slogans for 100. That's what he says.
The Mega Powers exploded at this event.
You might as well put 100 on the board. If he had the Hardy Boys thing, right, he's got this one. Just waiting for the answer. He goes WrestleMania 5.
Correct.
All right, Jeremy, pick again. Slogans for 500. He's going big.
It's in our blood.
Smash. He's got that one too. You know what's friggin' awesome is I'm getting beat by the co-host and a guy who's got no audio. So right now, for anybody listening, we've got Sean at 300, me at minus 600, and Jeremy officially at 600. So, Jeremy, the rules are we go kind of you get 3 right and then you pass it off. But so you got one more coming up.
That sounds like a good rule.
Just waiting for his next categories. Oh, he did pick one. See, he's going big too. So slogans for 600.
The flair for the gold.
Just waiting on the answer here. Da-da-da-da. Although, you know what? He's got the ability to Google something before he puts it up. Starrcade.
I don't think he's Googling.
No, Jeremy knows the stuff.
Hey Siri. Well, that actually will work. So we got Starcade.
Okay, so we'll go back to the loser right now. No offense, Chris.
Where's the delete button here? All right, let's go. You're talking about the Jessel. Let's go finish him for 600.
The Ghetto Blaster.
Oh, Bad News Brown or Bad News Allen, whatever you want to call him. Goes by both names.
You give attitude when you get him right.
You have attitude all the time. How long have you known me? All right, let's go. Let's go bigger. You know, I'm gonna go with the untouched category. What would you call him? Sato and Fuji.
Yep.
600.
Before his death, Mr. Sato was training to be a torchbearer at this world event.
I'm gonna say the Olympics.
Be more specific, please.
2008 Olympics.
Oh. Anyone else?
Jeremy says Japan Olympics.
Oh, Jeremy.
Well, he get it wrong too?
He sure did.
Sean,
do you want to try?
No, I have no idea.
Okay. It was actually the 2020 Summer Olympics.
Oh, they aren't taking place. Oh, he just passed away?
He did, not too long ago.
Huh.
But remember, a lot of these guys, they train for these events like a couple years in advance, even if you're a torchbearer.
Okay, we'll go like 3 more questions for like 1,000 points each. Then we're gonna wrap up the show. So we picked the 2 600 ones.
All right, so name that movie. Kevin Nash was Colonel Crookshanks with who hooked up with Frankenstein.
Hell, I passed. Sean,
No clue.
Oh,
I'm betting Jeremy knows.
give Jeremy a couple seconds.
Oh, actually, no. I was going to say Longest Yard, but
Hold on. Jeremy just says the Japan Olympics don't count with the Olympics.
yes, it does.
Technically, he's right because it never took place.
Well, no, but he was training for that. It said, what was he training for?
Ah, okay. Jeremy, your thoughts on the Kevin Nash question? No clue.
is it Longest Yard?
No. I've been telling you about this movie. Watch this movie.
Was that the one that Daniel was talking about a couple weeks ago?
Daniel has it.
Okay, score. I'm going to put it this way: scores are all even. That last 600 question, or was that in that category that wasn't?
Jobber.
Yeah, not working.
Okay, let's go this because nobody seems to know Soto and Fuji. 500 for like 15,000 points.
Well, it doesn't mean it's Sato and or Fuji.
Oh, and or Fuji.
It could be one of them or both of them or just Mr. Fuji.
Okay, so we'll let's. Oh, hold on. Jeremy says, "Oh shit, Kurgan was Frankenstein in that movie."
Yes.
Now I want to watch it.
Actually, there's a lot of good matches in it. It's actual wrestlers that they got to do this movie, and again, it's done more like a pay-per-view. The one Kids in the Hall guy is in it, and Earl Hindle, who's famous, is in this movie as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we have a watch party without getting in trouble. Jeremy, since you're the newest to the show, why don't you pick a category? We'll put 10,000 points on the board, and we'll let you answer first. And if you don't get it right, then it's me and Sean go at it. Good old Kurgan. He was at Comic-Con at a couple of years ago, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yes.
We had him on that panel.
Finish him for 600. Oh, wait, hold on. It's not available. Finish him for 500 then. Jeremy gets first out.
One-Winged Angel. Oh,
come on. Sean even just passed out on that. Somebody else who was at Comic-Con not too long ago.
Yeah, last year's with Rio.
Oh, you got it wrong. Dude, you had typing ability. You get it freaking wrong. Okay. All right, so a battle between me and Sean for supremacy here. It was not Christopher Daniels. It was Kenny Omega.
Okay, you guys will split that. We'll split that.
No, we get one more question because we're both live. So first one to say anything wins it. So Jones, we'll let you pick it.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
For the interim wrestling trivia challenge championship right here.
Oh, okay, let me look at my cheater board that has the. Oh, there. I like that. I kind of like that one.
So wrestling fans at TNT, Thursday Night Throwdown. This is what we do when there's absolutely no wrestling but WWE taking place.
In 1988, billionaire Ted bought Crockett's NWA promotion and was named this before it was called WCW.
Jeez, pass.
Well, wasn't it Jim Crockett Promotions?
Well, Crockett Promotion, whatever. And in fact, the answer
Mid-South?
No, they just Time Warner just finally closed the file on this only maybe a year ago.
Time Warner Wrestling.
No, Universal Wrestling Corp was the official name that it was used in the courts and all that proceedings. And when WCW was bought by McMahon, he bought certain things, but he didn't buy everything. So anything that was left went under this name. That was the original name that they had for the company when they first bought it.
Maybe if they had named it that, they would have actually put WWE out of business. Not saying I agree with it, but Universal UWC, no, it wouldn't go. All right, Sean, pick the category.
I thought we were wrapping up.
Huh?
Oh, we're still
I thought
going?
we were wrapping up.
No, one of us has got to win.
Oh, okay, fine. Slogans for 3.
Oh, come on.
This event's slogan was "What the world is watching."
WrestleMania 3.
Who picked this?
I did.
You better hurry up and answer it.
Well,
I said WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania 3.
I said
no,
like
no,
half a second. What do you
no.
mean, no?
It's actually Mania 4. Look it up.
Oh, me and Jones are going to go at war here. Freaking Family Feud strike. Piss on that. All right. Last question, no matter what. 25 million points. Who's that jobber for 500? Oh, wait, you can't pick that code. Okay, name that movie for 500.
In fact, I can tell you that WrestleMania 3 slogan was bigger, badder, and something else.
You know what? No, do this. Do Sato and Fuji for 500. So it'll be a good segue into what we're going to talk about just at the end of the show here.
All right. Mr. Fuji managed this Road Warrior ripoff tag team.
Powers of Pain. Done. Chris wins. Yay! There we go. And thank you very much. So, guys, we will work out the kinks. But it'll be a fun thing to do. Just COVID going on, and Jones has got future plans for this and everything else. So, thank you very much, Jeremy. Thanks for all the comments tonight. Try to fix your audio. If you want to be part of Sunday's show, get in touch with Sean because we will do tournament style to crown a winner. With the winner at the very end of whatever Jones has decided to win a prize, and prize to be determined. Maybe you get 2 Scumbags t-shirts. We'll have to wait and see. So anyways, thanks, Jeremy. All right, so Jones, if you want to shut down the share screen there.
Bam.
Try to get back to, there we go. All right, so Sean will do this because we do it pretty much every week anyways. Scumbags are wrestling, so hashtag we are scumbags, facebook.com/groups/scumbags are wrestling. We know 2 of your hobbies have been kind of shut down because of COVID, but Scumbags is alive and well. I know you'd mentioned yesterday, just off air, when we're doing the test for the trivia thing, the push to 500 exists. What is that all about? What are you doing with your time? What's Scumbags all about when wrestling does come back?
Well, right now we're still doing the Superstar of the Day, celebrating somebody's birthday. Whatever news comes up, we're putting that up there. Unfortunately, the Ontario Indie Road Trip is on hiatus, like you said, until indie shows start back up again. Also, until I can get back to going to the Tyson Dukes Wrestle Factory, and that gets started up again. The production line is on hiatus, but I do encourage you to go back and check out what happened at the Wrestle Factory. There's about 20-ish episodes with the students of the factory learning how the ropes work and learning their craft, the fundamentals of wrestling, not just high spots, but actual chain wrestling from Tyson Duke. He's a proponent of that, and you'll see what superstars are coming your way on the indie scene with the production line. So that's available on Facebook and on YouTube, especially on YouTube. And then, so we're just doing this show and the podcast, which happens every weekend.
Yeah, so anybody watching live right now or through video on YouTube or Facebook, you can see I'm on the official TNT website here. Down the very bottom here, you've got Scumbags of Wrestling, Scumbags Podcast, the Ontario Indie Road Trip, as well as the production line. So click on any of those and it'll lead you to the links as far as the Facebook groups go, as well as Sean's YouTube page. So if you haven't had a chance to catch up, now's your time to catch up, because eventually live content will be happening once again.
I was recording empty arena shows before they were cool.
Yeah, you stick to that. All right. Hey, so anyways, but I mean, once wrestling bursts out of this COVID bubble, I mean, you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff come back. And I know I'm excited because I just got this brand new phone with 4K capabilities, and I can't really use it as far as events go. So, but anyways, that being said, it's only a matter of time. Things are starting to eventually finally loosen up, and it is a good thing. So
we ain't seen no live events for at least another 3-4 months.
Jones, I'm going to put you on mute here.
I'm sorry. Until there is a cure for it, they can't have more than so many people in a room, because it will just start again. And we haven't even got that second wave yet. So
yeah, no, you're absolutely right with what you say. I want to put something to you guys that I didn't ask during the show, but here's a concept. Say, for example, Smash Wrestling comes back. They put in a show, only 50 people are allowed to get in the building, but they charge $250 for a ticket. They bring in like a big-time star, and that pays for the big-time star's fees, as well as everybody on that card plus the venue. Would you be willing to pay $250 to go to a live show again, knowing that you're there with 50 other people or 49 other people, knowing that the money is being spilt out the same way it normally would have been if live shows taken place, say 200, 300, 400 people?
I wouldn't pay that amount unless, they'd have to have the biggest stack show that they wouldn't be able to afford for me to pay $200. Now, if it was 200 and there was a party afterwards and stuff like that, now we're talking. But I think if they're only allowed 50, they could do that, and you would watch it on their Facebook or whatever and pay a small fee to get it.
So as in maybe doing the show and then putting it out on social media for say $20 so you can watch it live?
Well, I'd say less than $20. I mean,
$19.99.
I'm cheap. When you can get a whole network or a whole Netflix or whatever for like $10, $15, I'm not going to pay $20 for any pay-per-view unless it's something like ridiculously special, because it's just a waste of money now.
Well, at the same time, and I totally agree with that, depending on the price of what you're getting. I think before everything fully did go on lockdown, over in the UK, Wrestle Talk had worked with Osprey and doing a event, and it was streamed live on YouTube, and people were able to pledge or pay whatever they wanted as a thank you for this happening. So some were cheap probably and only did a $5 thing. Some were probably very generous and did a bigger donation. So maybe if that's a possibility, I'd be in for that. Your thought of 200 or 250 is a little steep, especially if you can find another way of doing it or just be waiting for back to normal.
Yeah, right. And the last thing we're gonna
if it is $200 and you get to pick the match, then we're talking. Because I'd like to see the cadet get taken on by I can't remember his name right now, but Tyson's boy there.
Oh, Ethan Dukes.
Yeah, I like to see Ethan Dukes rip him apart. I'd pay $200 for that.
Why weren't you on this show a couple of weeks ago when we actually had Tyson on the show? You could have recommended to him then. But anyways, the last thing we will talk about on episode 15 here, the TNT Thursday Night Throwdown, is so we know times are tough. We know basically finances aren't the greatest for some people, but we have created a Patreon account. In saying that, the pledge amount is one single pledge amount of $5. What that $5 gives you is exclusive content. Some of my old stuff that I used to do about 15, 16 years ago, some exclusive interviews with people such as Steve Carino, Hornet, who is now Daryl Sharma, who's one of the NXT referees. I will put that on there and produce that on there. One of the ideas that I had was anybody who wants to subscribe to the Patreon account, and simply it's patreon.com/TN Throwdown CA, is basically, I don't need the money. Sean doesn't need the money right now. So what we want to do is anybody who
Chris is unemployed right now.
Yeah, Jones is flipping out right now. But
actually, I'm doing fine for money.
Yeah. But anyways, long story short is what we want to do is anybody who does sign up to Patreon still get all the exclusive rights and everything else. End of the month is coming up. So if you're going to sign up, wait until May 1st to sign up, because I don't want you to have to pay, $5 or whatever the case may be for like 7 days. Wait till May 1st. But what I've decided to do is to anybody who does sign up, take that money and donate it to a charity. Coney Diener has been big on charities the past couple of years. So, I think right now it'd be anything that Cody Diener recommends. We will put it out there, on our Facebook group as far as the Throwdown goes. But anybody who does sign up to Patreon, we will have exclusive content, like as far as I said, like some of the past stuff goes. But any of the money that is, given to us will be donated 100%. We have no reason to ask for any kind of handouts or anything like that right now. But again, we want to be able to put out exclusive content. Sean, Patreon was set up by me, but the content part was kind of brainstormed the past kind of 24 hours or so. Give us your thoughts on what you want to do with as far as Patreon goes and what we're going to do with it.
Well, ran an idea past you guys the other day, thinking about another show that we could do that is about 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how much good banter we get and insight on everything. But it's basically going to be a fantasy warfare tournament discussion by panel. Hopefully 3 to 5 people involved with it. We can start off by putting up different categories to vote on Facebook. Once the winning category is there, we'll ask for input on who should be considered in that category. So if you see the greatest manager was selected, then we'll get 16 of the top managers of all time, throw them into a tournament, and break it down if they were actually in a match against each other, who would actually win, and come up with, in our opinion only, obviously, our opinion, who is the best manager of those 16. And yeah, let's hope for some good discussion and go from there. We got tons of different categories you can go for. Greatest European champion, IC champion, tag team with WCW, 80s, 90s, you name it. There's so many different shows that we can do to provide content. And if we're able to put stuff out there in these times where people are looking for things to do, things to listen, watch, whatever, then we'll hopefully be able to provide that for you.
And then the final two people that are picked in any category, Sean and Chris, will dress up as those people and then battle it out.
Yeah,
No.
that's a no, a huge no on that one. As Jones gets kicked off the show right now. But anyways, folks, it is one of those things that we're in a time where a lot of people are looking for content, and we're still looking to find our groove, so to speak, as far as this show goes. But we want to be able to give you guys something, at least to banter about. One of the prerequisites, so to speak, is have wrestling knowledge if you want to be part of this. I think it's the coolest thing in the world as far as the idea goes, because there's so many different topics we can talk about. We'll have to have at least 3 people on, if not 5 people, to discuss this. And all it is a vote system. So I might get a vote at 4-1. It could be a 5-0 vote. You know what I mean? But if you want to be part of this, hit us up, tnthrowdown.ca. It's the official website. Sean Scumbags group, our Facebook group for TN Throwdown. We're all over the place on social media, everything else. You'll see me promoting it. And then once we get something, as private chats lighting up right here. What is going on, Jones?
He's looking to get kicked off. But yeah, we're going to do fantasy warfare tournaments and see what happens.
My goal is to never have to kick anybody off this show, but Jones is coming close right now. He's right. He's putting down the hat, and there's no baseball going on, so I'm a little bit touchy and edgy. So I'll have to wait and see. But anyways, guys,
the city.
This I can do. Jones is now muted. So anyways, guys, stay tuned to our Facebook group. Stay tuned to the tnthrowdown.ca website. You will see everything that's coming up for us, and we're just trying new stuff to see. And like I said, anything that is donated on Patreon will be donated to charity 100%. So Jones looks like he's trying to talk, but that's not happening, folks. So
but
anyways,
we'll get to talk on Sunday if you join us for a game show.
Yeah, so we'll leave that up to Jones. You'll see the promotion all over the place as well. And get in touch with either Sean or Jones. Like I said, we will turn this channel into Jonesy's. We had a different name for it yesterday. Yep, but this is official. So Wrestling Trivia Challenge, hosted by Chris Jonesy Jones. Hashtag Jonesy. If you're on social media, as far as Facebook goes, you'll be able to see what he looks like, other than this ugly ass picture that you've got going on. There's my throwback to you as far as the comments on Boston goes. Jones, anything you want to say before we kick you off the show and we sign off?
Nope.
All right, guys. On that note, it's been fun. Interesting episode. Thank you very much, Jeremy, for the comments. Everything else, guys, stay safe. We will get through this COVID thing until next time, until Sunday for Jonesy's Trivia Challenge, and until next week. And take a look at YouTube for Sean Scumbags of Wrestling Podcast. 102 coming up, eh?
102 this weekend.
102 this weekend. All right. So, guys, until next week, as far as the Throwdown goes, thank you very much. See you later, guys.
Ciao.